All right. Hello, hello. Map is a little bit different. The plan was to stream over the weekend, but there was like a couple things that I wanted to figure out how to do. And instead of kind of like fumbling around for X amount of hours trying to figure it out, um I just did a ton of testing and a ton of like iterations of like kind of this or like what you see here. And this is one of the events, well, this is the main event of the map, is this almost like blue fog or mist that comes blowing through the center of the map. Um, and I can kind of go over like pretty much what this is and like the purpose of it and everything. So initially I was just happy with like doing bridges and everything and like having that be like the main like interaction with the map. But it felt like way too boring or like not interesting enough. I was like, huh, we gotta add like another type of, or like another element to the map to make it more interesting. So, um, Gears of War actually had some really cool interactions with their maps. And I was kind of inspired by like the map Avalanche, where if you get caught in the avalanche on the map, it would kill you. But that only happened once per round. This event is going to be on a cycle of, I don't know, like 30 seconds to a minute. I haven't really decided yet. But essentially what this is if you get hit by it, you basically get blown off the bridges or like the bottom layer of the map here. Initially, it was really hard to tell when it was safe to cross, because if I show the collision on how this works, all this is a collision box that's following a spline with a Niagara system. So what it will do is initially when it blows through, it will go and stop at this point here and pause for about, I don't know, 4 seconds until like the mist clears up. And after that time expires, it will move forward with the evaporating mist. And then it just resets after it gets done. It was really hard to tell when it was safe to cross again, and in playtesting with this, people would just die because they'd be like, oh, it's like good to go. The mist cleared up, I think. We can go across. So that was like super frustrating. And what I did was I added a visual indicator to show when it was clear. And I initially was going to use the sides of these bridges here, like the lighting, just as like ambient. But I was like, oh shit, I can actually make that usable and give, or have these be a visual indicator on when it's safe to cross again. So what they do is, when this collision box is within the vicinity, it actually triggers a function that's on these bridges. And what it does is it essentially just interpolates to the color blue, and when it's outside of the collision box, it will interpolate back to its default color. This gave a really good visual indication on when it was safe to cross, because if this is inside the collision box, obviously other players would be able to get hit by the collision as well. So I finally got it to a point where I'm pretty happy with it. This actually isn't the only thing that I wanted to test off stream. If I go to like an actual test with the character, one thing I wanted to add along with this event was camera shake. Because like sound effects, visuals, all that's cool, but another level of immersion is camera shake. So I was testing out like different ways to do it, and man, there were a lot of bad iterations of it. But this one feels pretty good. It's not too crazy. Just in time. Damn, it is 6 p.m. here, man. I can't imagine what time it is there. But you can also see character's hand also reacts well. Kind of like a mini earthquake. There was a couple bugs that I ran into with collision. But I think I fixed those. It mainly had to do when the bridges were actually falling. Yeah, okay, so it looks like it is resolved. So when the bridges were falling before, they would just like go back to their default color here. Oh yeah, there's also another bug here as well. You can see how the character is actually being, or the camera's moving into the skull of the player a bit too much. If you have bugs, just get a fly swatter. It was that easy. Yeah, I'm still tweaking the numbers on like how much this should actually shake your camera, but it's right near perfect at this point. But yeah, even when the bridges fall over, they still have this indicator working and everything. And if I try to cross during it, player dies. Finding a fly swatter in real life is still hard. If you don't have one, then yeah, true. The actual code for this stuff gets a little bit crazy. There's just so many there's so many moving parts to this, but the idea on solving this problem or like making this event was I'm just going to make a brand new actor class called an environment controller, and this will essentially handle all of the movement and all of the sound cues, everything on its own, and it will play all of those components in sequence. And it's actually kind of neat to look at when you have collision on, because you can kind of see how all the moving parts kind of work together. So what you're seeing here is the collision box, and then I have an audio component on it as well. Reason being is the audio is mono, so it works in space. So when you're wearing like headphones, for instance, your headphones will actually go left to right with the audio. The actual like gust noise I have attached to the Niagara component itself, and the Niagara component just grabs the locations along this track and just moves all the way to the end. The way that I have this collision box set up is when the Niagara component reaches this point in the spline, it will trigger the collision box to move at the same exact speed that the Niagara system is as well. And when it reaches this end point here, I have the collision box triggering a timer to where it stops for whatever parameter you set. I have it for 4 seconds. And then after the 4 seconds, it continues to move. The audio components being attached to the collision box and the Niagara system is like super important. Without it, it completely breaks immersion on this whole project. But yeah, it's kind of like a little train system almost. And holy shit, it took so much fucking time to make this. Well, mainly because I kept fucking up and there was like random bugs where it would just, it would get really uncoordinated and the collision box would be put in the wrong spot multiple times. But it just turned out I was crisscrossing some variables. So I just kind of unified everything and they all work off the same variable. I have one, but it's more hidden than the lost city of Atlantis. Yeah, it sounds like you might need to buy a new one then. But yeah, I'm able to adjust the time and everything, and it will work off of whatever seconds I put into it. Right now I just have it on I think it's like 3-second clock after it completes. So this mist will blow through, this will retract, then the clock starts on the 3 seconds, it resets itself, starts the initial rumble sound cue, and then goes through. And then once the retract happens, it triggers the fade out effect. If I just stand in the middle, you can pretty much hear the sounds. And how they work. What's up? What am I doing? I'm making an event for the map. Well, I mean, it's pretty much done, but I'm just kind of explaining how it's working and my thought process behind it. Close out of that. I mean, hopefully it does. The only other thing that I did off stream besides make this event is the spawn points. I decided how they're going to work. It's essentially just going to be kind of like a drawbridge thing. But what's going to happen is that same like mist that blows through the center is going to blow through the sides here and destroy kind of like a support beam for this. And when that happens, the bridge will fall over. So I'm still working on programming that part of it. This map is this map is pretty particle intense from the snow alone, but I was able to increase the efficiency of it a ton. Man out here looking like a coral reef. I have no idea what that means. I'm gonna be honest with you. But yeah, this is pretty much what I've been working on for the past 2 days, which is why I haven't been streaming. It's been like a really frustrating like 20 hours or so for the past couple days. There's also a ton of logs that I have like printed out and everything too, which we actually don't need like any of these. Oh yeah, there's also another bug that I got to figure out. I actually didn't know this, but if you turn collision off on something, you actually can't move it with a set world location. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but it was something that I was not aware of. So like this probably took about like 10 minutes. I was like, fuck, did I like corrupt my blueprint or something? But no, it just turns out that it doesn't like this. It means really colorful and random. You look like a coral reef based on how you dressed. The map better slap or you will be paid like crap. Yeah. Guess that's one way to look at it. I'm hoping to have the actual spawn points complete by Wednesday, more than likely, I would imagine. All I have to do is just create a couple more splines and make some Niagara systems. But yeah, it's not going to be as crazy. This was like all about like timing, almost like Gears. Which is why it was something that took so much longer. All right. Let's make some more splines here. We're gonna need them. Fair enough. All right. Now we're actually going to make the spawn points, or the actual animations for it. Let's see here. The reason we're doing it in here is because I have access to these delegates for round start, round prep, all that shit. So it'll be really easy to control everything because it's already hooked up to the game mode's timer. These don't need to be attached to anything, so we can actually just put these on the root component. We're going to need 2 more Niagara components for this, 1 for each spawn. So let's make some. We can actually just reuse the same sound effects from the main event, so I'm not too worried about that. We also need the system itself, because the spawn point systems are going to be different than the main one. They're going to be a lot smaller. Alright, put spawn on from here. It's a wrap. All right. I don't typically do that, but I think just for this, I'm gonna name it this way. What does this have a problem with? Oh, yeah. That's the name of our Niagara component, or the system. Let's name it all spawn area. Okay. Honestly, we can just copy and paste the majority of this over. Better yet, we might be able to just turn this function into one that just takes parameters. No, because then it also needs like a pretty specific thing here. Hey, what's up? Hey, shrill duck. Oh, Gary, do you want to see the effect I made? Like out here, chakra max. I don't know about that. So if we were to make this parameter based, what would we need here? We would just need to pass in the component itself and the spline. Honestly, fuck it. Just do it that way. A lot less code. And what was the other thing? Use spline component? Said C. Alright, give me 1 second here. Pause the music real quick. Basically something that kills you if you get caught inside of it. I think later on what I'm gonna have it do is just like launch you off the bridge. I don't know if I wanted to outright kill you. I actually could make it disintegrate you. That might be better. Yeah, maybe. We could do that. Alright. So, in here, we're just going to replace this. Ooh, this function would need to get moved if that's the case. Actually, no, we would just adjust this one to also take in a component. Whoops. Wait a minute. This is an audio component. Okay, so we would need to pass in a couple different things here. Or we just move this outside, its own thing. Might have to do that. Because now we're going to have to pass in audio component here as well. The reason I did this here is because I was like, oh shit, I'll just attach it before it activates. But there's no point, I mean, to do anything. Yeah, we'll just take this. Ooh, freaky. A little bit. As long as it gets attached before we play our sound effect, that's all that we care about. Okay. Gotta make sure that I'm actually attaching it to the right thing. Oh, we also need to pass in the system. Maybe I can use the same system but scale it? Nah. We're gonna have to be different. Not where I wanted to put you. now we are just going to put our parameters in. What am I doing? All right. This spawns them. We need to do the audio now. I gotta make more audio components, eh? I'm gonna keep this a little bit organized. So then we should. I was thinking you might not need to match with anything initially, but there's no point not to. Okay, we're spawning them, we're attaching the audio. Now we just have to play the audio. Which I think we might set this up in begin play or in one of the timers. There, but where am I setting it? That's what I care about. Oh no, okay. Not doing any initial setup for it. Let me think about this for a sec. We're gonna have like multiple sounds coming through. So maybe I could just play them in stages. I could probably put them all in the same meta sound, possibly. Alright, well, regardless, let's just do this. So these are going to simultaneously play the audio. Yeah, so right here, I mean, both audio components are going to play the same sound, but they're going to be on separate sides of the map. For the howling wind thing, what I'm going to do is change a setting in this that will allow it to play multiple instances. So it won't stop the previous audio. If this sounds bad, I mean, I'll just make a completely different audio component in the middle. Just for this purpose, but this should work. What we also want to do is fade out the sound. You don't need to set the sound or anything, just do the all fade out. And I actually have settings for this right here that we're using with the original one. That sounds pretty good. Okay. We got spawn, attach, sound. Now we need movement. So we can go to our move function here. Pretty much copy it into its own thing. The reason we're not just manipulating the original one here is because this one is going to be a lot shorter. Don't need that function, we just need that. The spline distance is actually something that we got to work out. What we can do is I can probably make one spline component on one side of the map, then just copy the properties of it over to the other one. And then they both can use the same distance calculator along the spline, so they're perfectly in sync. And there it is. Okay. This, we have to make a boolean. Yeah, we'll make it edit anywhere during debugging. Okay. So pretty much do the same thing like we did before here. I'm just thinking if we even need a second timer, because I think... Actually, do we even need a timer at all? Yeah, we definitely do. Because we have round preparation, which is like a 20-second window for preparation, into round start. And round start is when we want this bridge to actually be usable. So when round preparation starts, we'll put a timer down that will line up the event. So we only need one, I think. Oh, hold on 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. Okay. This actually doesn't have to be a U function, but this does. I also want to put these in order. All right. Come on now. There we go. Okay, so once round preparation begins, we put this timer, which will then trigger our Niagara system to spawn and start playing its chain of sound effects. Then we also need something for when it's complete. Actually, for this fade out, I don't think we need delta time here, do we? No, we should. What we want to do is basically do this. We're going to use our spawn area. Or we named it this, okay. Making sure I have the correct things down. Yep. Looks good. Gonna recompile. Actually, there's one thing that I didn't do. Hey, how's it going? Good, you? Pretty good. Spent the past couple days making a feature for this game, and I think we finally got it done. Thank God. This is player start tag 0 mean. That goes over there. Yeah, we're making basically an event that will kill players if they're not quick enough to get out of a situation. Trying to learn C++ and Unreal Engine 5? Welcome to the team. Yeah, it's in the beginning, it's difficult, not gonna lie. But I mean, shit. I'm on year 2.5 maybe. And you get to a certain point where you can pretty much make anything, and you can pretty much figure anything out on your own. And once that happens, you get a lot more motivated to do stuff. Yeah, it is, but honestly, like, in a couple months you definitely could make, like, some pretty cool shit. Oh, would you look at that? I broke my event. Somehow. But this is why we test things. Probably something stupid. Usually is. If you have any questions about anything you're currently learning or trying to do, you know, feel free to ask. Definitely down to help. This is it. Okay. You're crazy, Gary. Yeah, no problem. I didn't mean, like, specifically right now, but ever in the future. Oh, is it because the way I am currently doing this right now? I have to dereference this? No. Shouldn't have to. Figure that out later. What the fuck? I like inverted my controls somehow. Oh, that is so annoying. Probably fine. Oh, I wonder... I might not be able to copy over the exact formation. Yeah, no. Not gonna be that easy. That's fine. It. Oh, it would be so cool if you could actually just copy the selected point. Oh, also, why the fuck is this looping? Oh, because there was a second point in this? Yeah, something got fucked up, it looks like. Almost like one of my keys is just held down. Second. is crazy. To like manually punch in. Okay, yeah, I knew something was fucked up. Oh, that's actually like kind of annoying. Like even if I click on like one of these spline points, if I have the other one selected, it actually won't select the correct component that I'm trying to mess with. And that's just so weird. You have to click back onto the correct spline. Even if you like directly click one of these, it doesn't change back. I was wondering why in the beginning it was fucking bad. See if I can actually change the input keys around. Is it changing all of them back? Yeah. Hmm. Not that big of a deal. Is kind of annoying though. Because now what I have to do is I have to find the exact opposite spline distance for this one. I guess technically not. I'm just like thinking in my head how I'm gonna do this. Oh no, actually, that actually works out just fine. recompile. Fuck. Okay, there we go. I just did it too fast, I guess. I must have like somehow tilted my my screen. The hell's the roll keybind? Shit, I fat fingered a like a random keybind. It's actually like kind of annoying. I think it's that. It doesn't look like it. I think I pressed like Alt and like some random key. Can't remember. I like fuck with my oh, okay. Alright. We'll figure it out in a minute. Round preparation does not get called, but we can just manually call this to test it. Here. Comment that guy out. So we just want to make sure the actual like gust or like the Niagara effect works, and then once we find that out, the actual mechanic of the bridge coming down is actually the same mechanic as the arena doors opening on the other map, except this is just in a different rotation, but it's still the same thing. So let's simulate and see if it crashes. I'm gonna pause the music so I can actually hear if any of the audio cues actually go. Oh, yeah, we gotta set the blueprint shit. Fuck it. We'll just make it right now. Because all it's going to be doing is we're just going to be lowering the radius and the cylinder height and shit. Like 6,000 and like 700 maybe. Okay, it is spawning, but it is not moving. Do I have these visible? I do. What are they current? Ah, okay. If I check this, I think the engine's actually going to crash. Because what's happening is this must be null pointer. Yeah. Okay. Um, hold Alt, which left click around, might reset it. Happened to me the other day, but can't find the real keybind. Yeah, it's like the most random thing. Yeah, okay. Can't actually tell if that's better or not. I think it is. Or my perception is just completely off right now. But thank you. I appreciate it. Alright, we're gonna pass in reference here. Oh no, we need not a reference. What the fuck am I doing? Shit. Hold on. Passing in a variable setting it. Yeah, it's not gonna work either. Gotta make like a temporary one and then store it. Thought that's what this was doing. Start the music. Yeah. This is where it gets pretty bad. Shit. Do not want to do it that way. Actually, maybe I can pass it in as a reference, then turn it back into a point. Oh no, that just defeats the whole fucking purpose. I'm not gonna dick around too much here. I just really want to test to make sure it's actually going on the splines. So I'm gonna commit sacrilege real quick. open this shit. Damn. Yeah, I mean, all that's pretty much the same. Location and rotation are the only things that are going to differ here. Yep. I think that's it. Make sure I didn't misspell anything or keep an old variable in. These aren't called anywhere else, yeah? Nope. I mean, this map's not going to use any more of these like systems, so I might just turn this back into its original form. Right. Nice. All we gotta do is just turn off the system at the very end, but it looks like it was following the correct pattern. And since we don't need like collision or anything on it, that part is pretty much done. Here it is. We actually might want to destroy them. Right now they're marked as U properties, so they're gonna be guarded from garbage collection, even though they're deactivated. Let's see. Yeah, so they're a little bit too big. Looks like the audio component is actually attaching properly though. The rotation right here must be off. Hold on, I really gotta pay attention to that. Oh no, it's just excess material blowing through on the tight corners. So we can reduce that. The spawn rate also doesn't have to be as crazy. So 2.5 is probably enough. Lifetime, I'll reduce that down to like 6. Velocity. Yeah, we are setting it here. Maybe we want a separate speed for it. messing with like anything U property, I get a little bit overcautious on creating new variables because I've had numerous occasions where my shit just breaks live coding in after using this. It's more specifically with edit anywhere, but I usually use edit anywhere when I'm debugging a new feature, and then I switch it over to edit defaults only when I'm done. This makes it a lot easier to change shit around. Yes, okay. We're good. Still too wide. Speed is a lot better though. Almost there. All right. So how this all like really comes together is through how our game mode actually handles round preparation, round start, round end, all that shit. They're eliminated, we don't really care about right now. But we basically have something set up here that lets us know when round prep begins, when the round starts, and when the round ends. And it's through a delegate that we set up in our game mode. So when round prep begins, I'm going to trigger this. We want to make sure that round prep, we have a timer for that. Oh, I also have to move this class here to its own child class of environment controller. I made this for the arena map, so you'll see like a bunch of properties for like crowd noise and shit. But I'll be moving that over. Okay. So it doesn't look like round preparation sends over the timing for it. I might want to make a change so it does do that. Possibly. But that looks like it's going to be opening up a whole fucking web of things. I might do that at a different point. Round prep does that, and then round start actually does this. Basically just sets this timer off. We also want our doors to open, but I think they are actually set on their own timer. Yeah, they also have access to round start, and they move on their own. So our doors are pretty much like something we could just drag and drop into any map that we have, and they'll open on time every single time. So we don't even have to mess with that. But let's test the main event again. Just want to make sure that we corrected that problem. Null pointer. Oh. Because I'm checking for the component, not the system. Looks like it's working. The effect is a little rough, but I'm gonna make it look a little bit more intimidating. Right now it looks like a giant fog cloud or some shit. But I have like 2 more layers of effects that I have to add on to it that I've been messing with. Yeah. I wonder if I can get the game mode hooked up here. I think we have everything set for it to happen. Let me just make sure that I'm not missing anything crazy. So I'm going to check the arena where this game mode is actually used and make sure that everything is set up correctly here. Oh, I also forgot to do the audio volumes for the spawn rooms. So I can do that as well. Spectator, player start. Technically we can actually use the same one here. Total rounds, prep time 15 seconds. Yeah. Should be okay. Alright, let's hook it up and see. God damn. Okay, change it over to arena. Fingers crossed. I don't think I'm missing anything. Let me just double check to make sure it's not going to look for something that would end up being null pointer. Blah blah. There's start positions, that's all good. Yep. Yeah, I think it should be good. I think the only thing that I see that could be a problem is the leaderboard. But fuck it, we ball. Uh-oh. Shit is frozen. I didn't have anything on tick, did I? No, I have this on tick. Shit. Not a memory leak. Weird. I gotta open up that game mode in particular in debugger and see what the fuck is locking me like that. Had to come back and redo the landscape on this a bit. Pretty rough. That's for another day. Where is my... Oh, I also have to add lighting. Okay. I mean, shit, it works. Okay, well, my body fell through the map. That's okay. There's only a couple things that I really noticed. I think getting preparation time and passing it in for the passing it in as part of that delegate is pretty important. Not for just the current map that we're working on, but for future ones. I think it would be good to have that, since it's something that we change on every map. Lighting is another thing. The bridges work though. They're a little bit too fast. Someone has just absolutely blast the music out in the parking lot. It's crazy loud. I think what I wanted to change was the timing. I'm going to manually put this in right now. But I'm going to take this out entirely and just use prep time. Yeah. I think that would pretty much be it for today. Tomorrow, what we would be doing would be finishing up the spawn rooms, adding in audio volumes as well. Fixing camera shake. What else do we need to do? Polishing, pretty much. I mean, At this point, we're at like, we're getting close to like wrap up stage, so just got to add in more meshes here, more terrain or like more objects for like cover. So just like basic detailing, lighting. But yeah, so far so good. Also we gotta test networking. I gotta see how the clients respond to it. Fuck, I hit simulate, but I didn't change the game mode back to my test mode. I just bricked my client. I gotta find out what's causing that. Well, on that note, probably call it here. Hope y'all have a great morning, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you are. And till tomorrow. Peace.